over to our other screen. As you see here, so people probably wondering right now that's watching, man, we're talking about Russell Westbrook. Why you got Draymond Green on there with Westbrook? There's a reason why. Everybody knows that Draymond Green has his own podcast. So here's a quick rundown in simple terms what he basically said on his podcast. He went off on his podcast saying basketball fans suck. For the last 8 to 10 years, everybody called Russell Westbrook bad. They said he can't shoot. He only cares about stats, and he messes up teams. They even nicknamed him Westbrook. But the second he retires, all of a sudden fans are like, man, y'all did Russ wrong, or man, we're going to miss him. So Draymond's basically asking why people only show love after a player is gone or retired. So what do you think about this, Matthew? Is Draymond right that fans are being hypocritical, or is that just how sports works?
I mean, Draymond's an interesting messenger for this because, I mean, he hates on NBA players more than anybody. So it's interesting to hear him make this case. But I think he's right, man. And I think in 5 to 10 years, you're not going to be able to meet a person that hated Westbrook. And we know during his career, he got a lot of hate. And it was like the minute he retired, millions of people liking his post, all of these people coming out of the woodworks, talking about how big of Westbrook fans they were. All these just different like basketball players, celebrities, just sports fans across the world, just throwing their flowers at Russ. And that's not how it's been. You know how I know that? Because I've watched all his games the last 10 years. I mean, I've been a huge fan, and I know –
in the last 18 years, you've been watching the last 18?
The last 10 years since his MVP 10, season.
10. Okay, got you. Okay.
And they certainly weren't saying he sucked 10 years ago during his MVP season. 9 years ago either. I would say it started probably when they lost to the Blazers in the first round in the 2019 playoffs. That's where, Russ started to definitely get some incoming. Houston, he brought it back. Washington, he was pretty good. Then, of course, the Lakers, it went crazy. Yeah. I think Draymond's right, but, I'm going to talk a little on this just because, I've had an interesting journey with Russ. And like I said, I've been a fan of his for 10 years. It was his MVP season. I was a student at the University of North Texas, and I was kind of falling out of love with basketball. I've always had an interesting relationship with the Spurs. I'm a huge fan now, but as a kid, they weren't the coolest team to me. They were the fundamentals team. I always kind of went my own route. I always sought different teams out. And, Duncan's winding down. This is 16, 17. Flopping's out of control in my mind. There's so many things going on with the game. I had a huge bet with my roommate on the 2016 finals, the Cavs versus Warriors, that I lost. And it took a lot out of me. And I was kind of falling out of basketball. So, coming into the 16-17 season, I didn't even really know how much I was going to watch. But since I was in Dallas, it felt like the nights that the Mavericks weren't playing, because Oklahoma City's the next biggest market, they would have Oklahoma City on the television. And I'm watching these games Westbrook's playing after Durant left. And it's like every night, 38 points, 15 rebounds, 14 assists. But you go beyond the numbers and you watch the games. I mean, he is the team. I think his usage rate that year was historically high. And then just the games against the Mavericks, against the Magic, against the Nuggets, he led so many. His crunch time points that year were insane. He had so many just miracle comebacks where he just put the team on his back. And I watched so many of those games. I was sitting down in the film equipment room at the University of North Texas in the radio television film building, watching them on my little blue laptop, or I was sneaking into the radio station I worked at upstairs to watch the nationally televised games. And honestly, man, his prime, his career, those years with the Thunder, the years with the Rockets, some years with the Wizards, they brought me so much joy, man, that I've even been able to deal with, watching these games the last few years where it's kind of been a little bit of a roller coaster ride with the Nuggets and the Clippers and the Lakers and, of course, finally with the Kings. But, man, watching that prime Russ, that MVP Russ, it's like nothing I've ever seen before or since. And once I started watching it, it was like I was addicted to watching it. And now all these years later, when you just see flashes of it, you just see a triple-double with him playing on the Kings, and you see him getting to the rim, or you see him feeding his big man running down the lane, or you see him fighting for an offensive rebound that everybody gave up on. Just seeing flashes of it takes me back to that place, watching those games. Because now, man, I'm 33, and my favorite player right now is Wemby, and that's fine. But, like, there's a big difference between your favorite player at 23 and your favorite player at 33. Right. Because at 23, you're not a kid, but you still have a little imagination. You still see these guys as like, wow, what they're doing is insane. And, you know, you can be a huge fan. And when you're at 33, it's kind of leveled how much of a fan you could really be of like these, you know, fellow grown people, you know, that you know are just other people in the world. So you kind of lose that imagination. So as much as I love Wemby, I don't think I'll ever root for somebody the way I rooted for Russ. And especially that year where he won MVP, where they were mentioning him in rap songs. Kendrick Lamar dropped his name in The Heart Part 2. He was just such a cultural icon that year. The commercials, everything, the shoes. It was just the way he was moving that year was just special on the court, off the court. But, I mean, on the court, I mean, those numbers just don't look real. It's just like 51, 14, 12, 38, 16, 10. I mean, just every night, incredible, never before, never again. Russell Westbrook, always my GOAT. And so I agree with Draymond. Yeah, basketball fans do suck. But this one was always showing love from my guy, Westbrook.
So let me throw this out there, Matthew. So let's give him his flowers right now. So I'm going to go over a few things. What he was the all-time leader in triple-doubles, 209 during a regular season, well ahead of everybody else. The most triple-doubles in a single season. He had 42 during his 2016-17 MVP year. He averaged a triple-double for an entire season 4 times, the only player ever to do it more than once. He's only one of a handful of players with a 20-20-20 game, 20 points, 20 rebounds, 20 assists. His major awards, he had 2017 NBA MVP, 9-time All-Star, 2-time All-Star Game MVP, 9-time All-NBA, including his 2 first-team selections, 2-time scoring champion, 3 times assist leader, NBA 75th anniversary team member. Listen, his total points was 27,176. That's rated around 14th, 16th of all time. A total assists, 5th of all time with 10,351. He's only one of 2 players along with LeBron James with 25,000 points and 10,000 assists. And his career average came out to 20.9 points, 8 assists, 6.9 rebounds. Not only on top of that, but Matthew, let me ask you, have you heard this? I'm hearing maybe, and I don't know how true this is, that Oklahoma might sign him for one day just so he can retire as a Thunder.
Man, I hope they do that because it was special. And, you know, I've seen Oklahoma City since then play in the finals. I've seen them play in the conference finals. I've seen them play in big games. But I've never heard it get as loud as when Westbrook was rocking that place. And for regular season games, for playoff games, and obviously after Durant left, they had their struggles in the playoffs. I believe it was 3 straight first-round exits. But the way he was moving in that city, the way he was just ripping the rim off the cylinder, the way he was just having these games unlike anything you've ever seen before, making these plays. And I've been watching like hours of his highlights, and it's just they're still not over. I've been watching them since last night, and I still haven't seen all of them. There's just so many, and there's just so many different options you can pick from in terms of the best Russ game, the best Russ play, you know, the highest moments of his career. And I do think it's unfortunate, you know, Russ didn't even go to the 75th anniversary when they brought all the players together, because that was when he was on the Lakers, and that was kind of at the peak of the fans all hating on him. And Russ didn't even get to make it to that.
Yeah, I think he should have went anyway. I think he should have went anyway.
Man, I feel like people don't remember just how crazy the heat on him was when he was on the Lakers, and just how poorly he was being treated by, you know, the clickbait sports media, you know, the brainwashed Twitter dummies that, you know, just live to bring other people down. And, you know, there's a lot not to like about the sports media and social media culture. And I think a lot of that manifested in that Russ on the Lakers stint where, man, that magnifying glass, I just can't imagine how hot that was. And I know, you know, he brought on a lot of his own issues, But he was special, man. So I definitely hope Oklahoma City does right by him. I hope they do the
Yeah,
statue,
right,
jersey retirement,
right.
because I mean, he was, after Durant left, he was that city for a few years. He
Yeah,
carried that city on his back all by
yep,
himself. And you
yep,
look at those teams; those were not great teams, man. And
yeah.
he carried them.
And Matthew, you saw we posted it was about a month ago. People can go back and watch a video. We talked about how Russell Westbrook Brook is still doing a lot of stuff in Oklahoma, charities, donations, fundraisers, building stuff for them, and all that. So I think he loves Oklahoma, man.
Yeah, man, and Oklahoma loves him. That's mutual. There was a big controversy when the Nuggets and the Thunder played in 2024 that they were telling the Oklahoma City fans, "Hey, Russ is on the other team now. You got to stop cheering for him, man." So I know it's mutual love going both ways.
Yeah, yeah, and also I don't know if this is true, but I think it's true. At least the attempt is real. I also hear that Ice Cube is trying to bring him into the Big Three.
Man, I don't know if I want to. I love watching Russ play basketball. I will watch
Yeah,
Russ play overseas. I'd watch him play in the Big Three. But well, someone's that big of a legend. I
yeah.
don't know that, like, we want to see them in such a small platform like that. If we're gonna see him play, I like it to be in the NBA.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't think that the Big Three would be where it's at right now. When I first saw it, I was like, nobody wants to see no retired players. But apparently, they must be doing good because it's still going strong.
The fact that they're still around like surprises me, and I think maybe it's here to stay. But there's a certain level of player that I think is fine for, but I think Russ is just too big of a star. I mean, Russ is one of the greatest players to ever play the game. He's certainly top 50, and I don't know, man. I think he might shine a little too bright for the Big Three.